You are off the clock with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Hey, I'm glad it's Friday. I will admit to that. I'll cop to that. It's
Happy Friday.
yeah, looking forward to the weekend for sure, as our most, I would imagine.
It has been a long week. It's been a good week, like work-wise, but we've had, you know what we've had? We've had illness has hit the McFarland household.
What?
Yeah,
COVID?
and
COVID-19?
not
Is that still
COVID.
around?
No, like the entire high school has what is probably influenza A. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, high fevers, like 103
that's a
fevers.
drag.
Stomach issues. Yeah. So lots of sick kiddos around our house. I have two at my house actually, and not
Oh,
good.
that's awful.
But you know what? It's funny because like I'm starting to realize that when they go away in the fall and they get sick, they're going to have to take care of each other. They're not going to have me there to take care of them. So, but for now, I was being good
Well,
mom. I was getting up all through the night.
maybe you can send them off to summer school even. Get them out there. Get them out the door quick.
I don't want them to leave. I want them to stay. You know what? There have to be books on this, right? Like I've heard people talk about empty nest syndrome and all of that, but I don't know that people have really I don't know that I knew that it was like going to be this difficult. It's starting to wear on me a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. So, you
Yeah.
never know. Everybody reacts differently.
You didn't
Trish,
really?
I,
Do you
I
think
have an
that's a mom
important.
thing? Is that a
It,
mom
it
thing?
it could be. It could be. Or I'm just an awful person, which it's more likely that.
I
The
don't think you are.
I have an update, Trish, that's important to me. I'd like to get to it early in the show, so I don't forget, Trish.
Please, let's do.
You may remember, Trish, a few weeks ago, I mentioned, and now I will officially call her enemy of the podcast, Dua Lipa, Trish. I was, if you recall,
Would you stop?
I was angry that she had started her own podcast, and I was hearing announcements
Yes.
and ads for it. And my rant at the time was, for folks who didn't hear it, was, "Hey, leave me. We're doing the podcast. We've been doing it for 13 years. We're podcasters. If you're a singer, you're an actor, you're a famous
Stay in your
athlete,
lane,
do
Dua
your
Lipa.
thing.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Stay out of my business, please, Dua Lipa." Well, Trish,
Oh
you'll
no.
be glad to know that Dua Lipa is in hot water, Trish. She is being
Why?
sued. She's being sued by two different musical acts, other groups of songwriters, for plagiarism, Trish, plagiarism charges over the song Levitating, her song Levitating.
That song's
And
great.
so I read an article about this, and I listened to saw a YouTube video that kind of broke down one of the songwriting, one of the groups that's suing her. It's
Right?
a band called Article Sound System. They had a 2017 hit called Live Your Life. Trish, I encourage you to look it up. It sounds exactly the same as this Levitating song. It
Does
really,
it
really
really?
does. And I hope she loses or settles out of court for millions of dollars.
She's
And I hope her career is
fine.
ruined, Dua Lipa. Stay out of it.
I have
Get
to be on the other side. I
It's
like Dua
karma.
Lipa. I like Levitating. You know what? Did she actually write Levitating? I mean, she probably had
She's
songwriters.
credited. Yeah, she's
Oh,
credited
she
along with about four or five other people.
okay.
So yeah, she does have
I'm
a
trying
songwriting
to
credit.
stay on the Dua Lipa train, so we'll just have to see how it plays out. I mean,
I'm
it's
not.
not like inspired by this other song. It's actually
Well,
plagiarizing
no,
some
it's not.
like
It's
you
not a
can
sample.
recognize
It's
it.
not like in hip hop or something where you get a sample of a beat or
Yeah,
something
like a
from an
sample.
earlier song. This is just two songs that really sound incredibly similar. And
Wow.
there you go.
All right. Hey, speaking of pop stars, can I at least give a little like nudge on what we're going to be doing? I don't want to give too much away, but we are partnering with Lady Gaga and her Born This Way Foundation. And as people may know, we're kind of shifting gears with the podcast. We've done the podcast for so many years, you since 2009, me since 2013. And we're switching to more of a storytelling type scenario for the podcast called At Work in America. And the Born This Way Foundation is doing some great things. And so we are going to have them on the show with a special clip from Lady Gaga.
Great. That's pretty soon too. I think I can't remember exactly when that is, but I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
It's coming up. So how do you feel about Gaga? I hope you like her.
She writes her own songs, so yeah, I'm pro
Does.
Gaga.
She
I'm
does.
pro
She
Gaga.
is an entertainer for sure. I saw her in person one time. I don't know if I ever told you that story. So, at least I'm sure this is this way in all cities, but if you go last minute to a concert, I mean like last minute, like as it's about ready to start, they release whatever tickets that like, that the entertainer didn't need. And so my daughter was like 9 at the time and she really loves Lady Gaga and she wanted to go see her and I'm like, well, all right, we'll drive down there and see if we can get in. We got like 7th row on the side of the stage, so close to Lady Gaga. But I didn't really think it through like, oh, my daughter's 9. And it's one thing to listen to Lady Gaga. It's a whole nother thing to see her then on stage. There was a lot of shenanigans going on, but yeah, it was amazing. She's got a great voice. It was a great concert. I had to cover Carly's eyes a little bit now and then, but
Wow. Okay.
yeah, it got a little risque. But we love Lady Gaga, so we're looking forward to working with her foundation.
Yeah. That's going to be a really fun show. And we just recorded our Oscars preview show, which is going to run next week in
I
advance of the
know.
Oscars. So I'm excited about that. A couple more follow-ups, Trish. I'm calling this like the Friday follow-up show. I had a couple more items that we previously talked about on this show that I'd like to follow up on, if I may.
Sounds good. Please do.
Trish, we talked about Tom Brady and the unretirement,
I hate
right?
him.
A couple of
I
days ago.
literally hate that man.
Well, here's another little news item, right, that emerged. After he retired, he was retired for about 6 weeks or so. In that 6-week window there of him being retired,
Did he start a podcast?
Actually, he does have a podcast, jerk off. He one of his last touchdown football, the actual football that he threw his last touchdown pass with Tampa Bay. Someone got their hands on it, and whoever, I don't know who exactly sold it, but it was auctioned off, right? It was a public auction. The gentleman, I think it was a gentleman who won the auction, paid $518,000 for this football, the final Tom Brady touchdown football. And now that Tom Brady is unretired, Trish, estimates say in the memorabilia world, estimates say that ball is now only worth about $50,000. I'm surprised it's even worth that much, but the person bought it for over $500,000. Lost 90% on that deal within days of Tom coming back out of retirement. So how about that? So Tom kind of messed that guy over too, as well.
Tom Brady, you need to pay him the difference. No lie. Because if you're retired, stay retired, right? If you're going to come back and that poor guy just spent his entire life savings on your stupid last touchdown football, come on now.
I mean, it could be questionable judgment if you're willing to spend $518,000 on a football, but having said that, right, it's kind of unfortunate for that person. I've got one more update real quick, Trish, if I may, if you'll allow. I think last year, Trish, we talked about when this came out in very limited quantities and it was online ordering only. A dairy called the Van Leeuwen Dairy created a Kraft mac and cheese ice cream, limited edition flavor. I don't know if you remember the story from last year.
I do now that you say that, yes.
Was a big hit, sold out instantly. I was never able to get my hands on it, like many of these other kind of funny collaborations. Anyway, Trish, that ice cream has been released generally. It is in now 3,500 Walmart stores around our fair nation for 10 weeks only. It's out there now if you can find it.
I was just at Walmart.
Well, Trish, I efforted yesterday. I did. I went to a Walmart, the nearest one I could get to yesterday. Did not have it. So it was not one of the 3,500 that had it in stock. I will effort further, and hopefully next week, Trish, I will have a live Kraft mac and cheese ice cream tasting on this show. But I'm excited. I want this ice cream badly.
And if anyone's had it, I'd like to know. Do the online Walmart shopping, because then you can look up and see maybe which locations it's at before you start driving around.
That's a good tip. All right, I will look into that.
There you go. Wow. Well, that's a lot. Well, you know what? Have a good weekend. Do you have any fun plans? I mean, there's a lot of basketball on. You must be in basketball.
March Madness, yeah. I'll be raging, of course. Absolutely.
I am getting ready to go in and watch the Loyola game right now. So go Ramblers.
Is that the Sister Jean team?
It is. She was just like right before we went live, she was just praying with the team. So if you got Sister Jean on your side, you're winning. I'm just throwing it out there for the Ohio
unfair,
State
though. It makes it hard. If like if your mascot is a bulldog or a tiger or an owl, like it's fine to root against that. If your mascot is Sister Jean, like 100-year-old nun, you kind of feel like a jerk to root against that. I don't know who is the team that they're playing. Are you aware of that?
Ohio State.
The Ohio State University?
The Ohio State, yes.
Well, they're
You
pretty
got it.
unlikable, so I'm gonna have to go with
Right?
Sister Jean as well.
See, okay, there you go. Everyone out there right now, say a prayer for them to win. Yeah,
I'll shout out, since we're talking March Madness, I will shout out the only March Madness I care about, Trish, which is the women's college basketball tournament, which is
Is
also
that
getting
because the Lady
underway.
Gamecocks are in?
The Gamecocks are the number 1 seed. They were the number 1
Are
team in the
they?
nation the entire season. They are the favorite to win the championship this year, and let's hope they
Okay.
do. So
All right,
go
now here's my
Gamecocks.
question. When the men went to the Final Four, we
I
went
did.
with our friends and our family. And are you going to go if the women make it
Uh,
to the Final
I
Four? I
had not
feel like if you
considered it.
don't, that would be very sexist, Steve. Just
I just was
saying.
in a debate not too long ago about what was the difference between sexism and chauvinism, and I wasn't sure I knew.
I think you're both.
I'm just looking up really quickly where the women's Final Four
Yeah,
is.
where is it going to be for real?
All right, give me a second. Vamp for a second here while I Google
While
this.
you're doing that, I will tell you that when I went to the last tour we did at University of Nebraska, there were no men's games playing, and there was a women's basketball game. And I took the kids, and we had a blast. Those women are athletic. I mean, it was.
I've got the answer.
They're not joking around. They're really fun to watch. So I would encourage people to go see women's basketball.
Trish, it is in Minneapolis. That's where the women's Final Four will be held
Oh,
this
there you
year,
go.
in Minneapolis at the Target Center. And so, yeah, maybe I'll go. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it, but if the Gamecocks make it to the Final Four, I certainly will consider it. How about that?
Hey, I think you should go because our friend Josh Rock is there in Minneapolis. And didn't he say that's where the Olympic curling team is currently
Right.
practicing?
I would like to try that.
You could kill a whole bunch of birds with, one stone, one visit. So, all right. Hey, listen, everyone, thanks for joining us and taking a little break. Have a great weekend, and we will see you back here on Monday for Off the Clock.